Good morning. My name is Mark Coates. I'm a rancher in Northern California and Southern Oregon. In 2011, the wolves entered into our country, and I've been working on a solution to work with that predatory issue. What's been arrived at is predator awareness. It has three components. The first component is the standing solution. The standing solution is when an animal receives pressure, that they will stand instead of running or fleeing. Second component is herd awareness, that they're aware of the herd's location and how to return there to the defensive group. And finally, predator awareness, which is the defensive posture of the herd. Herds exist because of predators. It's the livestock's natural instinct to be a herd group. We're just encouraging the return to predator awareness as a defensive posture against predators. We're using dogs in predator awareness training to encourage grouping. They pressure the cattle into a circle as a predator would. The cattle's defensive posture of grouping and herding is promoted by the dog's pressure. We're gathering these first calf heifers today, replacement heifers, and we're taking them to a corral to ship about 2.5 miles away. These cattle are not accustomed to dog presence, and they will chase dogs. Chasing dogs is a precursor for predation. It sets very nicely into a predator's hunting scheme. So we need to get these cattle accustomed to these dogs. It's really just an easier process than one might think. It's just the presence and staying calm. And these cattle will, in a short order, become accustomed to dog presence. What we are doing here is we are establishing a herd. We're walking back and forth, no pressure. We're just establishing the herd posture that we can work with at a later time. No pressure, just steady movement. Everything's going very well here. As I move across this ditch, these two heifers will connect to my presence, and they will realize that the herd is slowly moving away, and they are going to move forward, and that is the beginning of herd awareness. They realize that they're left behind, they're moving up. That is exactly what we want. Now we have moved the pressure much closer, and the cattle are responding very nicely. So I'm going to stop here, and I am just going to rock back and forth and suggest movement. We're not pushing on them, we're just suggesting movement. They are moving away from us, not fighting the dogs. These are the same cattle. We went through one gate, and now we're crossing the county road to go into another field that will drive these cattle to the corrals. They are calm, collected, and walking with purpose, and they're going to go through a gate that they're not aware of without very much effort. By making the effort to group these cattle and move them as one herd group instead of 50 individuals, they move much quieter, calmer, and easier. How we train predator awareness is pressure and release. The pressure groups them, puts them into a defensive posture, and then once they achieve that, the reward is the release. The herd group is what we are trying to achieve. So if the cattle are already standing in a herd group, then the right thing to do is just pass through the cattle, creating a calm, gentle herd response instead of pressure. Cattle have a calmness when they're with the herd. This is the basic stop. It is the beginning of the standing solution, herd awareness, and predator awareness. By discouraging flight or individualization and rewarding the action of herding into a defensive herd group. By removing that pressure when the herding is achieved, cattle soon become aware that the herd is their safe zone, standing comfortably with content resolve in a defensive posture. This again is the same effort of grouping and stopping cattle. This is to create herd awareness and predator awareness, that they stand calmly in a group with the pressure being received. They just move into a tighter group. This is predator awareness. The cattle here have done a good job. They're standing in a group. Now we need to relieve the pressure. So I'm moving away, and this will teach them that their reward is the stance. Now they're standing. We're going to create movement. This is the reverse parallel that I will move into position with rear pressure, and this will create movement in the direction I just came from. When we have achieved predator awareness, we need to work on establishing movement. Movement is intentional, not random. And the animals need to realize that movement also functions as a herd group. Grazing, movement, all their defense mechanisms need to rely on the herd as a herd group. By using forward parallel pressure, and we'll recreate the stop and the reverse parallel one more time, and then this training session will be complete. By using forward parallel pressure, the trainer can assist the dog in the stop. Upon achieving the stop, relief of pressure is important. Stop and stand. When the group is standing in mixed directions, a divergent stance, you can begin again, creating movement with the reverse parallel and then moving to rear pressure. Pass the cattle on the reverse pressure by somewhat. So once you are in a position of reverse pressure, you are just turning and following, not pushing or hurting. This is just outside pressure point pressure, moving the cattle to the herd, and once they move towards the herd or return to the herd, the pressure is removed. Shedding simulates a predator's pressure. It is the attempt to individualize and create flight. With shedding, the pressure the individual receives continues until a successful return to the safety of the herd is completed, instilling that the herd is the relief and the release of all pressure. Shedding is our best effort at simulating a predator's pressure of individualizing and chasing that animal. By updating training, we are constantly updating our cattle's reaction to a predator's pressure. And by promoting that pressure, we are promoting that the herd is a calm and safe place. This set of cows aren't used to crossing water, and I've connected to them with the lead, and this is to demonstrate that we're just drawing these cattle across with the lead. There's no pushing on them, and they are content to cross. This is another demonstration of the lead. This is a set of cattle going to a pasture for the very first time. The gate is overgrown grass at the bottom, won't open all the way. My wife went ahead to show these cattle where the gate was located at. They're following nicely. There's no really pushing on these cattle. They're just drawing through the gate. I'm not hooping, hollering, trying to get them in there. They're just walking through. It's a very nice movement in these cattle. Through nature's design, cattle already have the herding instinct. We're just encouraging that when they receive pressure, that they return to the group and stand and not run or flee. One of the other questions I'm often asked is, will it make my cattle wild? It does not create or a handling issue. It resolves them. It makes a quieter and more stable unit. We make a lot of effort at individualizing and separating our livestock. We don't make much effort at recreating the defensive herd posture. We need to recreate that herd posture. Predator awareness helps establish that again.